and welcome to Sword and Fortress's first exhibition game of Warcry. It's been a while since we played this game, so we might be missing some of the rules and mistakes. We apologize about that. We've got Legions of Nagash versus Iron Golems, painted as Icy Golems. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off with the priority roll. We've got Legions of Nagash with a 3, and Iron Golems with a 2. So Legions of Nagash will have the priority roll. For Legions of Nagash, their shield consists of a Necromancer, 2 Seneschals, and a Skeleton with shield. On the Iron Golem side, you've got the Dominar, the Signifier, and a Legionnaire with shield. For the Legion of Nagash's hammer, we've got 2 Skeleton Champions, and then 2 Graveguard with shields and white blades. For the hammer on the Iron Golem side, you've got the Ogre Breacher, the Armiger, and a Legionnaire with shield. Finally, for the dagger, you've got 2 Graveguard with great white blades for the Legion of Nagash. And for the Iron Golems, you've got the Drillmaster and the Legionnaire with Bolus. For deployment, we have Outflank. Legion of Nagash has chosen to be red, leaving Iron Golems to be blue. So we will see Legion of Nagash set up here, here, and here. And then we will see Iron Legion set up here, here, and here. Our mission for today will be the Hunted. Our teams will roll off. The winner will choose attacker or defender. In turn 2, the defender has to pick a model to be the hunted model. If that hunted model is within 4 inches of any board edge, it is automatically destroyed at the end of the turn, giving the victory to the attacker. And if the defender can keep it alive and away from 4 inches from any board edge, by the end of turn 4, the defender wins. Going to that roll off, we see that the Iron Golems have won that, and they will choose to be the attacker. For the twist, we ended up pulling that one that pulls 2 twists. The first twist ended up being Deluge, which means anytime any object needs to climb, for every inch it costs 2 movement. Then the second twist we ended up getting Eager for the Fight, which adds 1 to the movement characteristics of all models. So it kind of starts to cancel each other out. And then with the Homebrew twist that we use, because we like the Chaotic Beast idea, we pulled Apex Predator. So here we see the roll-off. It looks like the Iron Golems have won to place the Apex Predator. This model can be placed within outside of 5 inches of any other model. It is picked as any Chaotic Beast, and if its wounds were not more than 30, they start with 30 wounds. But for our selection today, we will actually be using the Organoid Myrmidon. For the Apex Predator, the Iron Golems have won the roll-off, which allows them to place a Chaotic Beast more than 5 inches away from any fighter. Now with this card, if you don't have any of the larger beasts, you just pick 1 Chaos model, put it down, and it has wound characteristics of at least 30. We are actually playing with the Orgoid Myrmidon. Sorry for the mispronunciation if there is. It starts off with 35 wounds, so it'll start with that, and the Iron Golems will place it. Now there's a couple different places they could put it. We could see a placement here to try and get in with these guys. We could see a placement down here to try and get in here. Or we could see a placement right here that gives it kind of more of the options. So the Iron Golems have chosen to place it here, giving it great opportunity to jump down there, jump down here, reinforce here, and pretty much good board control here on the complete right-hand side. Starting with turn 1 hero phase, Iron Golems rolling first. They have 3 6s for the first roll, and then 3 singles, a 1, 3, and 4. For the Legions of Nagash, we see a pair of 1s, a pair of 2s, and 2 singles. Both are choosing to save their Chaos dice, which gives the Iron Golems the first move in round 1. So for the first move for the Iron Golems, they've got the chance to activate the Chaos Beast, but it is risky because if they roll a 1 or a 2, it's actually given to the Legions of Nagash and they skip their turn. Or we could just see straight up movement from the Iron Legions. We could see this group moving in here, this group moving into Pincer, and this group trying to haul all the way over to try and contain the battle area to right here in case any of these models here turned out to be the hunted. For the Legion of Nagash, they could be a little cheeky and pick one of these models to be hunted. If that's the case, you'll see them be able to move and twist and counter there. So, the first movement on the Iron Golems. So we see that they move the Armature, trying to get these guys moved into the battle space as quickly as possible, giving time to see what Legion of Nagash reacts with. Legions of Nagash will try and go ahead and control the Chaotic Beast. And they do get it with a roll of 5. Now, with the Legions of Nagash getting it, as good of placement as this was for the Iron Golems, now it could turn against them, as the lead beast can move there, or even perform a jump action and get down into this group. Legion of Nagash has elected to do a jump action with the Chaotic Beast, moving it over here, placing it right against the Signifier. He will be attacking with 3 attacks, Strength 5 versus Toughness 4, wounding on 3s, and that is an insanely powerful dice roll from this Chaotic Beast, getting a critical, which does 8 damage, plus 2 normal attacks, which does an additional 8 damage, giving it 16 damage, which instantly kills the Signifier. Iron Golems, already hurting from the immediate insta-pop of one of their main figures, are looking at moving next. We could see some movement from this group, more movement to try and get these guys in, or I'll be really interested to see what we do with these 2 guys next to that hulking Chaotic Beast. The Iron Golems, with the loss of their Signifier, are already starting off on a bad spot. Now, turn 1 in Warcry tends to be a lot of movement, so we're going to see some rapid flashes as we see movement across the board. So we've seen that the Orgord Breachers moved up here. We've seen one of these Graveguard with Crypt Shield and White Blades move up to try and get ready to protect this group here. We see the Iron Legionnaire with Shield move up to join the rest of the group. And the other Graveguard with White Blade and Shield moves up to join his buddy. Now this is the sticky point for the Iron Golems. They haven't seen Legions of Nagash move in anywhere, so they've elected to go ahead and move the Drill Master on down to try and force this group to stay where it is. Legion of Nagash responds with moving the Necromancer down here, moving it away from that ranged attack that the Drill Master can pull off. And then the Legionnaire with Bolus moves down and gets in with the Skeleton with Shield and the 2 Seneschals. Legion of Nagash choosing to go ahead and move one of those Skeleton Champions all the way over here in a double movement. So we see the Dominar moving in on the Myrmidon to try and see what he can do about it. They've decided to use a 666 for the Iron Golem's Spine-Crushing Blow, which would add the value of the ability to the strength characteristics of the next attack action made by the fighter. So that would take his strength from Strength 5 to Strength 11, which allows him to, instead of hitting on 5s and 6s, now he's hitting on 3 through 6s. Now for the second action, which would be attack, looking for 3-ups, and with that roll we do see that 2 of the attacks connect. They aren't critical, so that does a total of 4 damage, dropping the Myrmidon from 35 to 31. And we see that other Skeleton Champion hauling over there, trying to keep up with the first one. The next movement we see from the Iron Golems is we actually see that Legionnaire with Shield move in here with the 2 Graveguard with Shields to try and force them to try and stay there, and also opening up the Necromancer for turn 2 for the Iron Golems. And since the Iron Golems are out of movement, we just see the 2 Seneschals here moving up to try and keep pace with the Skeleton Champions. And that is it for turn 1 of this Warcry match. Already we've seen a devastating loss for the Iron Golems in their Signifier. At the beginning of round 2, the Legions of Nagash have chosen that their Necromancer be the hunted one. So we've got to see him try and stay 4 inches away from either board edge. In the hero phase, the Iron Golems have rolled double 1s, a 3 double 2s, and I think that's a 6. Legions of Nagash, we're seeing a pair of 1s, a pair of 3s, and 2 singles. Iron Golems using one of their wild dice to give an additional single so that they've got priority on this turn. At start of turn 2, Iron Golem, seeing how much damage this bad boy does, is going to go ahead and try and seize control of him and get him to move away and maybe be able to engage some of these Legions of Nagash units. And with a roll of 1, these poor Iron Golems have lost control of the Myrmidon. They lose their turn. Legion of Nagash gets to go ahead and use it, and then proceed to have the turn next. This Myrmidon will be attacking the Dominar. So we get 3 attacks for each attack phase. Strength 5, Toughness 4, see 3 ups, and we get all 3 hits, giving us 12 damage. The second attack, we luckily for the Iron Golem see a whiff there of 2 2s, but that 5 does bring an additional 4 damage, so we're seeing a total of 16 damage to the Dominar, who only has 20 life. Now for the first turn of the second round, we're going to see this Seneschal reach up and try and touch the Drill Master. Legions of Nagash have chosen to use a double for Cursed Weapon, which adds 1 to the damage characteristics of both normal and critical damage done by this Seneschal. For the first attack from this Seneschal, Strength 5 versus Toughness 4 with the Cursed Weapon. Ooh, we see a critical hit here and a normal hit here, bringing the damage for the first attack action up to 9. For the second attack action, oh, that is just painful to see. There we got another critical plus 2 more hits, which does an additional 12 damage, and that thoroughly kills the Drill Master. And now we see the Iron Golems already down 2 models in this game. Against a Horde army like the Legions of Nagash is not something you want to see happen. So the first action, we're going to see the Dominar go ahead and do a disengage of the 3 inches. For the second action, we're going to see another 5-inch movement, and we could see him move here to kind of reinforce this group, or we could see him go here and go crazy and try and keep this group busy. He actually decides to move here, plugging this gap, forcing it to where if this Necromancer needs to run, he's got to run this way, or this way, which will be onto the teeth of this group coming in here. So for Legions of Nagash, we're going to see this Graveguard with shield attack the Legionnaire with shield here. We're going to see them spend a double again for Cursed Weapon. So with 3 dice per attack, Strength 4 versus Toughness 5, we're looking for 5s and 6s. We see 2 criticals, which brings that up to 10 damage in 1 attack action, which is enough to kill this Iron Legionnaire with shield. For his second action, we just see him move up to try and tie this Dominar up. Iron Golem spending a double to try and get this Armature even further in. With his 3 movement, even with the twist card giving him up to a 4 movement, he's still very limited in trying to get into position on what's turning to be the key part of the battle. So he's able to now move 10 inches with the double move action. We see a disengage action moving him 3 inches this way, then another 4 inches because of the twist card giving that little bit of extra movement. We see the skeleton with spear move over here, try and give more protection for this Necromancer. So the Iron Golems feeling the loss of 2 important models so far. We're going to see an attack from this Iron Legionnaire with Bolus into that Seneschal, this being less than just barely under 1 inch. Strength 3 versus Toughness 3, looking for 4 ups. And with that, we only see 1 critical, which does 3 damage to that Seneschal. For the second attack action, we see another critical plus a normal damage, bringing the total damage for this turn up to 7. The Seneschal having 15. We see the second Seneschal moving in to go ahead and try and strike at this Iron Legionnaire with Bolus. So we're going to see 4 attacks, Strength 5 versus Toughness 4. The Legion of Nagash rolling is just insane. We see a critical plus 2 normal attacks, bringing the damage all the way up to 9 with just the first, leaving this Legionnaire with Bolus with just 1 life point left. For the Iron Legion's turn, we see the Ogre Breacher doing a double movement, bringing him here to try and put some pressure on that Necromancer. In response, we see that Graveguard with Shield move here, try and provide a stopping action and more of a barrier here for that Necromancer. So they will see an attack for the second action. 3 attacks, Strength 4 versus Toughness 5. We're looking for 5s and 6s. And we do see 1/6, which does 4 damage against the 30 health Ogre Breacher. The Iron Golems go ahead and move this Legionnaire with Shield up, trying to get into position to take out this Necromancer. Since Iron Legionnaires are out of models to move, we go ahead and see the 2 Skeleton Champions move over here in their move actions. We'll see the 2 Graveguard with Great White Blades move in, applying more pressure to this Iron Legionnaire and giving an escape possibility for this Necromancer in case this group gets the drop on him. So we see the Necromancer move up a little bit, giving us more distance away from these Iron Golems. And then he's just going to go ahead and wait for the end of turn 2. Alright, so the start of turn 3, we see the roll-off for the Iron Golems. We've got a pair of 5s, a pair of 3s, and a pair of 2s. Legions of Nagash getting triple 6s and a double 1. We can definitely tell the dice gods are loving them right now. Legion of Nagash using their wild dice they've saved up to move that triple 6 into a quad 6, that double 1 into a triple 1, and that 4 into a double 4. And the Iron Golems choosing to use one of their wild dice to go for a single and turning that double 5 into a triple 5. This gives Iron Golems initiative in turn 3. They go for trying to control the beast. They do with a 3, finally. Iron Golems, feeling the pressure that Myrmidon can put on things, already losing 2 models to it, taking it up these steps with the extra penalty after losing 2 models, then running it over here with the second move action, trying to get in position to where they can tack these 4 models with it and keep reinforcements from coming in on the Necromancer. The Legion of Nagash moving the Skeleton with the Spear down here to try and tie these 2 up, giving the Necromancer some breathing room. So, for the Iron Legion's turn, we're going to see this Iron Legionnaire with Shield attack the Skeleton with Spear and Shield. We'll see the Iron Golems spend their first double to give this Iron Legionnaire an extra attack for each attack phase. So we're going to go ahead and see 3 attacks at Strength 3 versus Toughness 4, looking for 5s and 6s. And finally, the dice gods start to turn towards the Iron Golem side, seeing a critical and a normal hit, dealing 4 damage in the first attack action. For the second attack, unfortunately, it looks like we've got no hits. So Legions of Nagash turn, we're going to see the Necromancer pull that quad 4 out for Vahil's Dance Macabre, and everything within 6 inches of him. Whole bubble here. So since that is a 6, he gets to activate 6 guys with either a bonus attack action or bonus move action. The first bonus attack we're going to see from the Seneschal. 4 attacks, Strength 5 versus Toughness 4. It only has 1 health point left. And yes, that bonus attack utterly decimates. Then we see this Seneschal do a bonus move action. We're going to see this Wraithguard with Witchblade and Shield attack the Dominar with its bonus attack action. Strength 4 versus Toughness 4, looking for 4, 5, 6s. We do see 5 doing 2 damage. We're going to see this Graveguard with White Blade and Shield attacking the Ogre Breacher, getting a 6 and a 5 with Strength 4 versus Toughness 5, dealing 6 damage, putting 22 wounds on this Ogre Breacher, leaving him with 8 wounds left. We're going to go ahead and see this Skeleton with Spear do a bonus attack action. Strength 3 versus Toughness 5, 5s and 6s, and he does get a 6, dealing 4 damage. The Necromancer, now with his 2 actions, looks like he'll be doing 2 ranged attacks versus the Ogre Breacher. So we are looking at Strength 3 versus Toughness 5, 5s and 6s needed, and we do get a 6, that does 6 damage, leaving the Ogre Breacher with just 2 wounds left. And the second attack whiffs. We're going to go ahead and see a double from the Iron Golems, giving the Dominar an extra attack for each of the attack actions. So we're going to see 4 attacks, strength 5 versus toughness 4, looking for 3 ups. And a complete whiff on the first attack action, only landing 1 blow with that 4, which does 2 damage. Second attack doing a little bit better. We see 2 5s, a 4, and a miss here, so that is 6 damage. So for a total of 8 damage, leaving that crypt guard with just 2 wounds remaining, that Dominar is still stuck right there. So the Grave Guard is going to try and return the favor. So this Wraith Guard, sensing he's going to get pummeled by the Ogre Breacher, goes ahead and tries to attack. We're going to see Strength 4 versus Toughness 5 with 3 attacks, looking for 5 ups. First attack was an absolute whiff. Second attack, a continual whiff. Both attacks doing absolutely nothing against that Ogre Breacher. The Ogre Breacher looking to return the favor. 2 attacks, strength 6 versus toughness 4, looking for 3 ups. We see 1 wound go through. That is 4 damage. And we see a complete whiff with 2 2s. So these 2 Grave Guard holding the line against the bigger Dominar and Ogre Breacher, keeping that Necromancer safe. This Grave Guard is going to go ahead and try and finish off the Dominar. We're looking at 3 attacks, strength 4 versus toughness 4. So looking for 4 ups. And we see 2 hits doing 4 damage, which then removes the Dominar. For his second action, the Grave Guard moves in here and double teams the Ogre Breacher, keeping that Necromancer safe. So the Armiger trying to clear out the skeleton with shield. Strength 4 versus toughness 4, looking for 4s. We do see 1 hit of a 5, dealing 1 damage. And on the second attack, we only see 1 more 4, which does just 1 more damage. And the Armiger fails to remove the skeleton with shield and spear. Now that the Iron Golems don't have any more models, we're going to see some rapid movement from Legions of Nagash. We see this Seneschal do a double movement to get in here. This Seneschal, taking the extra movement penalty from climbing, comes up here to try and provide a blocking action against this Myrmidon. We see the Skeleton Champion also taking the movement penalty for climbing, coming up here and directly engaging the Myrmidon. And we see the rest of this group just go ahead and do their double move actions, bringing them down to here. And that comes to the end of turn 3. Alright, turn 4, Iron Golem's hero phase. We see a quad 4 and double 1s, a great roll for this turn 4. Legions of Nagash on their hero phase, getting a quad 5 with a 6 and a 4. Iron Golems taking that double 1 and turning it into a triple 1 with the wild dice. And then Legion of Nagash moving that 6 to a double 6, leaving it to where they've got a single, giving Legions of Nagash to go first. And to continue the punishment of this game, Legions of Nagash are going to spend their quad 5 for another Vahil's Dance Macabre. Selecting 5 units, we're definitely going to see these 4 here. So we see this Seneschal moving up to double engage this Myrmidon. This Grave Guard is going to go ahead and go into the Ogre Breacher with his 3 attacks, strength 4 versus toughness 5, looking for 5s and 6s. And all 3 are 5s and 6s, dealing a grand total of 8 damage, which is enough to kill off that Ogre Breacher. And at this point, the Iron Golems go ahead and concede. There's just no way to try and take out a 25 wound Necromancer in 1 turn while both guys are blocked up. We'd like to thank you for watching this video this week. Please go ahead and put in the comments any things you guys liked, didn't like, and any rules that you saw that we missed. And have a great day. We'll see you next week.